Welcome once again to Transformers 4 Age of Extinction toy reviews. In today's episode we'll be looking at the Voyager Class Grimlock figure. As you can see, it's a very long figure. A lot of that is due to the end of his mace or flail type weapon. I really don't like this ending piece on him as in dinosaur mode, and he's also able to balance a little better without it. I'll show you what he looks like when we take that off in a moment. He does have a button here you can press to make his mouth bite. And as you can see, he is a fairly detailed figure. It's a very good dinosaur, and it's a very impressive design for what he is and what he's able to turn into. So I think he looks a lot cooler if he just has like a bashing tail without the long piece of his flail or mace on him. So I prefer him a lot better being displayed like this. But to transform him, first and foremost, we'll go ahead and completely remove that, which will expose what will become his legs. And so we'll go ahead and fold those down. We'll go ahead and set his feet, and as you can see, he's got feet that are kind of like elf shoes or old-fashioned suits of armor. I really don't like that. I wish that it looked a little bit different, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so we'll pop his head back. We'll split his head here and slide this all the way around. We'll come around the front, and for his legs, we'll be tabbing these little pieces of armor, kind of like samurai armor, over the fronts of his legs, and we'll fold his dinosaur legs out, which will become his hands. And I'll show you something else about those after we're done. But to begin with, you cook these into the back of his forearms. The problem with that is it eliminates a lot of his posability, and so I'll touch on that after we've got the transformation done. But once that's done, we'll turn his head around, we'll tab his chest piece in, we'll drop his arms, and we'll tab this back part in. And at this point, he is pretty much transformed. He actually is very posable. He's got the ability to move his legs in almost every direction, and he's got pivotal feet that can pivot. With his arms, you can't really flex them, but if you take that out, you can move his wrist, and that's why I recommend not tabbing that in there. You can move his wrist and then just push it up against his forearm, but that gives you a lot more flexibility in your pose. He also balances fairly well. I'm not the best at posing Transformers in dynamic poses, but also he's got some slight pivot here in his kind of right above his ankles, but that does help with posability as well. Finally, to complete him, his weapon, we'll take the base and plug it into the bashing portion, and this is typically held by him like this. However, if you would like a more sword look, you can do one of two things. You can leave that big bashing part on the bottom, or you can remove it, but you can come up with the sword up underneath his hand, and that will allow you to give him more of a sword than a flail. Anyways, he's an excellent figure. Like I said, he's very posable. There's a lot of detail on him. Let's take a look at his face up close in the light. But you know, I like all the detail in this area, everything from his shoulders to his face to what would be the bottom of his jaw, even though it wasn't really the bottom of his jaw in the transformation. Anyway, he's a fantastic figure. He's Voyager class, so he's not as expensive as some of the other Grimlock versions, but he is very posable and very displayable. I highly recommend this figure, and the transformation isn't too difficult, so it's also still not bad for younger collectors. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comments section below, and have a great day. Thanks.